Okay, we are live. Let me just send an invitation and then we'll begin immediately. Okay, let me send an invitation on, on WhatsApp. Okay, I've sent it. Copy. Okay, sending it now. Okay. Okay, sent it to them. Let us give everybody about 2 more minutes and then we'll begin with the training immediately. Okay, let's just give everybody 2 more minutes and then we'll begin with the training immediately. Let's see who is available. Okay. Eyes on the comment section. Yeah. So the moment you come on board and then you can hear me and you can see my screen, kindly comment 111. Okay, let's just wait for one more person and we'll begin with the training immediately. I have my eyes on the comment section. Once I see somebody and then once I know that okay, we have one participant, we'll just begin with the training immediately. So I'm just waiting for one person. And then in the next 20 seconds, we are going to begin with the training. All right, so counting and yeah. Okay, so we're just going to start with the training immediately. Anybody that comes will just join and watch the replay. Since there's going to be a replay, I don't think there's any need for us waiting before we start the training. So I'm going to be starting immediately. Okay, just that I really wish anybody that comes on board is going to tell me if they can hear me, because at the end of the day, I don't want to show me I'll be done speaking and then it will be as if the audio is not really audible at your own end there. Okay, but I believe that everything is set. Okay, so yesterday we actually did the practicals of how to use your support and resistance, how to use your support and resistance and top-down analysis to conduct, or top-down analysis. That's the multiple time frame analysis to conduct research and then to know how to spot good entry and exit point. Okay, and then I want to believe that we used some practical examples in the class, and this morning you'd agree with me that those examples we used in the class has already played out. Okay, so in today it's going to just be like a continuation. Remember I said that all of these classes is interconnected. one particular phase leads to another. Okay, one particular phase leads to another. So in this particular module, we are going to be going straight into a new topic. Okay, I can see somebody has joined us. If you're the one, kindly type 111 in the comment section. Let me know that you're with me. Okay, so without any much waste of time, I'm just going to share my slide and then we're going to begin immediately. Okay, so my eyes is on the comment section. If you can see my screen, please type 111. I am having the notification that one person has joined, but I can't see who that person is. Just type 111 and then we'll begin immediately. Okay, thank you, Mr. Boniface. I can see you. Thank you. Welcome. All right, so since you're here, let's just begin immediately. So today we're going to be talking about what trend lines, okay? How to draw and use trend lines to conduct excellent market analysis. Okay, thank you. I can see you. Well done. Welcome. Right, so how to draw and use trend lines to conduct excellent technical analysis. Okay, last time we spoke about what, about support and resistance. Now mind you, like I said, all of these topics are connected. Okay, so by the time I'm done teaching support and resistance, now the next I'm teaching is what is trend lines. Now why am I teaching all of these things in bits? Because they're all interconnected. By the time you have a knowledge of support and resistance, when you combine it with the knowledge of trend lines and other things I'm going to be teaching you subsequently, you'll be able to join the knowledge to be able to identify good entry and exit points. Okay, remember now, in one of the bonuses I said I was going to give you guys is a checklist, and that checklist contains setups you need to look out for before you enter a trade. Okay, so one of the setups are there. Some of them are what, support and resistance. So before you enter a coin, you need to check, is the coin at my support, is the coin at my resistance? So each, whether it's at your resistance or at your support, it's going to inform your decision. Then aside from just as I am relying your assumptions based on just support and resistance, the trend line which we're going to discuss today is also another tool you can use to further how like right now, to further get a precise entry. More like you're trying to actually be, you want to be a bit certain. You want to increase your level of certainty, because it is risky. As much as the support and resistance can give you a good entry and exit point, it is risky to just rely assumption based on them alone, because you need to actually look for other confirmations. That is what I'm teaching you, trend lines. Okay, because trend lines is going to help you to increase your confirmation, or increase your, it's going to help you eliminate some form of bias in your trade action. Okay, can see another person has joined us. Welcome. So without any further ado, let's go into the training properly. I was just trying to waste time so that I could just I was just trying to while away time so that people can join us. Okay, but then since we already have two people, I think we are good to go. Today's training is going to be very, very brief because it's going to be easy to understand. If you've already understood how to do support and resistance, it's going to be easy to this particular is going to be easy to understand for you. So what is trend lines and what are trend lines ladder? Trend lines are diagonal lines that show the overall direction of the price movement of a particular crypto asset. Understand it. These are diagonal lines. By diagonal line, the mean was slanted lines. Okay, remember the support and resistance is what this horizontal line. Okay, but these trend lines now are diagonal lines that show the overall direction of the price movement of a crypto asset. Just like support and resistance, it is one of the most useful tools any technical analyst must learn to use, as it shows the flow of momentum. Remember, your ability of a technical analyst for you to know when a momentum is about to change. Okay, remember the idea of support and resistance is whenever you notice, okay, the coin has gotten to the support, it means there's about to be a change in the flow of momentum. So having an idea of when a momentum is about to change is an added advantage to you as a fundamental, or as a technical, as a crypto trader rather. Okay, so since trend lines can help you to decide the flow or descend the flow of a chart of the price value of a coin, it means it's a very, very useful tool. Very, very useful. Just as the support and resistance is very, very useful, so also is the trend line. Okay, so ability to master how to use this trend is going to help you to be able to identify the flow of the price. That's the flow of momentum. What is the market going to do next? Okay, trend lines, though simple to draw, can be a very sophisticated tool in TA. Yet many traders undervalue it and try to rely on some complex tools when trading. Don't worry, by the time we start explaining trend lines, you'll be like, this is simple now. I can tell you that in as much as it is very, very simple, it is a very, very strong tool and a very fundamental tool that determines your success as a technical analyst. But I can tell you for free that because of how simple it is, a lot of people tend to overlook it. They tend to believe that this tool does not have any form of calculation like that. It means it may not really be strong like that. They would rather want to go for a much more complex tool. Okay, imagine you want to go for a war, but you want to go for a war now, and then somebody carried a small blade and give you and say this blade can help you win this war. You begin to doubt the war, and then maybe you look by your side and then you see a machine, a setup of machine. You be like, oh, this machine is most likely help me. It's going to help me to win this war more than the what, more than this small blade. That is just how trendlines are. Trendlines are just like those blade, but I can tell you that small blade that you have is much more sophisticated than that big machine that you're trying to go into the battlefield with. Remember, the entire crypto market is more like a battlefield. You want to go and fight here, you want to go and win over over a trade. So you need to carry a lot of tools. Now, one of the tools that people tend to overlook because of how simple it is to draw is the trend line. But I can tell you, if you can discern wisdom, if you can take your time, if you can look at my previous illustrations, I don't use any tool. What I just work is my support horizon, my trend line, and my chart patterns. I don't use any sophisticated technical indicators like that. No, because I understood this. I've understood that though these things are simple to draw, the support and resistance and the technique and the trend lines, they are very, very useful to your successful trading. So if you want to become very successful, make it a priority to learn how to use your trend lines. Okay, so let's look at the next slide now. I was talking about support and resistance. So this is exactly what they are. Look at the blue line. The black line represents the uptrend, okay? And then the blue line represents the downtrend, okay? And then if you remember when I was talking about a market structure, I was talking about what they mark up and mark down, okay? So in a situation of mark up, is what is the uptrend. That markup now does not really have a what. It's just an upward movement. So in order for it to describe the upward movement, we used to draw a trend line. Now that trend line is not just drawn anyhow. There are certain principles that guide you when drawing a trend line. Okay, I'm going to teach you all of these things. If you can look at that, in as much as I say trend line now, if I say somebody should draw a trend line now, they might just pick a line and just draw on the chart and say they've gotten the trend line. No, it's not like that. There are certain principles you need to look out for when drawing your trend lines. All right, so you can look at the trend line that is there. That is how it is. That's the black line. Then look at the downward trend, which is the blue trend. Okay, so this is exactly what we mean by trend. You can see since the momentum or the flow of the whole chart is looking upward, that is why the uptrend is facing upward, is slanting upward. Okay, then since the downward momentum is facing downward, that is why the blue trend is facing downward. Okay, so anytime you see a mark up, that's what is an indication of a new trend. And then of course, if you can look at it in between this trend now, remember I said there's always a retracement. Okay, so if you look at even the retracement, if you can zoom in, you see all of this. I believe you understand what the retracement is. It's also a part of the market structure. As I said, a coin cannot just go up; it always come down to retrace. So that period of it coming down, this small, and okay, I wish I can draw on this particular chart, but then I can't. So tomorrow I'm going to be showing you guys live. Okay, so you see in each of these pullback, there's actually what trend. This is just like a macro trend line. But in each of these pullback, you see whenever the coin goes up and is coming down to touch the trend line, that period of coming down, you understand that it is not just coming down in a straight line. There's also a series of zigzag movements. So even there, you can even draw a trend line there. Okay. So this trend line, as much as I'm not drawing a trend line, there's what we call macro and the micro trend line. I'm going to explain all of this to you. But also have at the back of your mind that trend line show you what the overall movement or flow of momentum in a particular market. Okay, so this is just how a trend line looks like, the upward and the downward trends. Okay, so let's go to the next one. All right, so types of trend now. Types of trend. There are basically two types of trend. Okay, that's the uptrend and the downtrend. Like I said, in the market structure, we have the markup and the markdown. So the markup is just like the uptrend, and then the markdown is just like the downtrend. So these are basically the two kind of trend. Although if you're reading other resources, they might tell that there are three kinds of trend. Okay, they might tell you we have the uptrend, we have the downtrend, and then we have the range. The range is just like exactly what we saw in the support and resistance, whereby the how like the flow of the market is not really that visible like that. It's kind of horizontal, just like the way we have in the distribution. Just like the way we have in the accumulation and then the consolidation. You understand that there's not really any significant move there. It's just a straight line. It's showing what the trend is. The trend is flat. Okay, once the trend is very, very visible, either upward or downward, it's an upward or downward trend. But once the trend is not really that visible like that, it's a sideways trend. Yeah, that's what they call it. They call it the sideways trend. Okay, but I don't really say much about that sideways trend, because if I'm trying to explain sideways trend, you might think it's in a support and resistance. Okay, but then that's just the simplest way I can explain it to you. So basically, we have just two types of trend. Okay, we have the uptrend and we have the down trend. Okay, so like I said, they can be classified under macro and micro trend lines. Okay, like I told you something about. Let's explain the macro now. Is more like a bigger picture trend line. You saw me explaining how cryptocurrency, how the whole chart like it obeys the law of multiple time frame analysis. Okay, so once you're looking at the trend line from a macro perspective, means you're looking at it from a higher time frame. Okay, then once you now go down into a lower time frame, you're looking at it from a micro perspective. Okay, so that's exactly what the macro and micros trend lines are. Trend lines you get, but then even inside, just like we have support and resistance inside the main like just like we have support and resistance for the 4 hours, for the 1 day, we have a for support and resistance for the 4 hours, we have a support and resistance for the 1 day. Same thing with trend lines. Okay, even though the general market is saying this is what we are doing, in between that big market, there can be small what trend lines that you can identify inside that big trend. Okay, so that's exactly what I mean by what by macro and micro, just like what multiple time frame analysis. Okay, so that's exactly what I'm trying to explain here, right? So if you're getting me, kindly respond, just drop some fireballs in the comment section so that let me know that you are getting me. I can see that we are 3 now, right? So let's move to the next one. Okay, and what's the next thing we're going to look at? This is just a picture of uptrend. I'm just trying to show you the picture of uptrend. You can look at it. Like I said, these things are not just drawn like that. These are not just lines that are just drawn to show you the flow of. No. They are not just lines. They are carefully drawn. Okay, so if you can look at it here, these things are not just drawn like that. Okay, I'm going to explain to you how you need to draw it. For just look at the picture and then familiarize yourself with what an uptrend is. Okay, so this is an example of an uptrend. You can see the whole trend is what is going upward. The momentum is what is going upward. Okay, thank you, Mr. Boniface. I can see you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So if you can look at this as an uptrend now, if you can look at it, like I said, is what is showing us the flow of the momentum. So you can look at in this particular image now, the flow of the momentum is in favor of the upside. Okay. So that's what the trend line do. A trend line is what shows us what the upside. Now, if you can look at, let's just observe the trend line now. You're gonna understand that when the coin needs to go like, okay, Mr. Sikak, thank you. Can see you. Can see you. Thank you so much. Okay, so if you can look at this trend, you're going to understand that it's always going like what, like how, like right now, when they say let's explain this now. Look, it's not just going up straight. Like I said, the coin does not just go up straight. It goes up and come down and retrace. From the retracing, it goes up and just like if you run, you tire, you wait more and breathe in. Once you breathe in, you now get enough energy to continue running again. Okay, that's exactly how it goes. So if you look at the trend line now, anytime the coin is running, because of look at the first 2 points that I highlighted by these red arrows, you understand that once the coin run, and then it came to rest. It rested at a particular point, and then once it picked up to run again, as it was running, as it wanted to rest, the point at which it was resting began to what it's like it had a connection with the previous point of rest. Okay, so the moment it's called, okay, there's a previous point of there's a connection. You link them with a line. Okay, so I mean that particular line has become a line of value, an area of value. So anytime the coin goes up, if it wants to fall, since you've already extended that line, it's most likely it's going to come back and bounce on that particular line. So that's what I'm trying to explain to you now. That's exactly what the trend line does. It's more like it provides what the support. Maybe when the coin has run, it has gone up, and then maybe the momentum is beginning to get tired. It will not come down to relax a bit. Now, once it relaxes, it rests on the trend line, then it continues the movement again upward. It gets to a certain point, it comes down to relax. It retraces to relax. So it's always relaxing on the trend line. Okay. So the moment you have an idea of the trend line now, and then discover that a coin is about to go up now, okay, once this coin go up now, it go want retrace. Now, how do you estimate the place at which the coin is going to retrace? Your trend line is going to help you. Okay, so I'm going to explain all of these things for you. I'm just trying to create a favorable, or should I say, I'm trying to water the ground for the information I'm about to receive in the next few minutes. Okay, so let's look at the same thing with the downtrend. So you can look at the downtrend too. Okay, not as much as here they indicated the downtrend up is the same thing. You can draw the channel, the line upward or downward. For me, I prefer to draw it downward. It's the same thing. It gives you the same information. Okay, so you can look at it anytime the coin goes down. Remember, I say a coin does not just go down like that. If it goes down, if you want to now stop, I don't go down. Let me breathe small. So that when you want to breathe, it will now go up to breathe small. If you look at it, the first point at which it touched is having a correlation with the second point at which, even as much as it is sliding downward, they still have a connection. Okay, so that connection is what the trend line shows you. And as a technical analysis, you don't want to neglect each of this information because they are key to your survival. They're going to give you massive profit if you want to make money in this industry. Okay, so that's exactly what the trend line does. It shows you the flow of momentum. It helps you to determine the highest point and then the lowest point that the coin might likely or get to when it is trending either upward or downward. what. Okay, so like I told you, we don't in as much as we're saying trend line is just a line, it's not just a line. There are certain ways you need to draw the line, just like the way support and resistance is just like a line. There are certain ways for you to draw this particular line. Okay, so let's look at the next one, the next slide now. Right, how to draw support and resistance now, very very simple. Okay, just like we did in our support, how to draw your trend line, sorry, just like we did in our support and resistance, where I said the first thing you need to do is what is identify your areas of value. It is the same thing with what, in fact, let me just give this illustration now. See, trend lines is the same thing as what, as support and resistance, just that support and resistance is what is horizontal, trend line is what is diagonal. That is just it. You can see I'm saying here in this particular point now how to draw the number one, identify areas of value. That's the same thing we did for trend, for support and resistance. Okay, so look at it here. What are my areas of value now? These are the areas that they call in what came down and what and reversed form. Okay, you can either identify your areas of value upward or downward, but like I said, it's easier and it's much more effective to identify them more downward. Okay, because it's going to help you to know what to do. Okay, so you can look at, I've already identified my areas of value. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I've already identified what. Normally, had it been this is a new trend, maybe the trend is just forming now. By the time I'm able to identify just 1, 2, and then I'm able to connect them, trust me, I can predict that the coin definitely, even if the coin do shakara, it must surely come down, can't touch the trend. And then of course, look how it is, what it's obeying the trend line. Okay, so the thing you need to do is you need to what, identify your trend line. Okay. Okay, sorry for the distraction, guys. Somebody was actually calling my attention. Okay, so like I was saying, now you need to identify what, identify your areas of value. Okay, look at here, I've already identified my areas of value here. That's the areas of, I already explained what areas of value is. That's why I'm rushing a bit this particular one, because it's going to be just like repetition. I really taught you how to identify areas of value. Just like this time, in this particular time around, it's going to be like what, diagonal. Okay, so the idea is this: once you just identify 1, 2 areas of value, you connect them. Then once you connect them, just know, okay, this price anyhow, but this price must surely come and what, and retest on this particular result. It must surely come and what, and come and find support or come and balance on that particular trend line before it continues its movement, except if there's indication or if there's signs of possible trend reversal. Okay, but then trend reversal is a different topic on its own, and then I'm going to also explain this into you as we go on. So that's the first step: identify your areas of value. Okay, so this is just, you can see these are just my areas of value. All right, so you can already guess the next step. The next step is just what, is just to connect the areas of value. You can see what, connect at least 2 areas of value. Okay, so this is just like a completely formed trend, but let's assume it was just forming recently. Now once I see the first one forming, the second one forming, I'm going to connect it. Okay, so the moment I connect it, is going to what, give me an idea that, okay, anytime this coin goes up, if it's going to come down, it's most likely going to come down and rest upon my areas of my trend line. Okay, it's very very important like that. Anytime the coin goes up, since you've already identified your trend, anytime the coin comes, maybe after the coin came and rested upon it, and then it's about to go up. Okay, and then it's about to go up. Once it goes up, so you know, this coin, since it's already created a trend line, it is most likely going to come back and retest that particular region. So it's very very important that you have that at the back of your mind, so you can see it. This is just exactly what it is to draw a trend line. If you can do like this, believe me, you've gotten your trend line, and it's very very important. Now imagine joining this particular thing with your support and resistance. Imagine how powerful you'll be. But a lot of people tend to neglect it. A lot of people tend to rely strongly on on technical indicators, and that is why they miss out on the beauty of cryptocurrency. When I started trading cryptocurrency, I was focused on on technical indicators. Any small thing, I don't go on like 5 indicators, they form guru. Because then, but if you're activating a lot of indicators, it makes you feel as if you don't sabi crypto well. Imagine somebody that doesn't know anything about chart comes to your chart and see that you're not just using 1 indicator, you're using 5 indicators. Be like, oh boy, guy, you're just like mathematics now. Imagine when somebody's trying to solve one equation, that you're solving 5 at the same time. They'll look at you like a big brand. That feeling will tend to make you feel as if you know what you're doing, but in the real sense, you don't know anything, because indicators they don't even work. As a matter of fact, I'm going to be paying very less attention on indicators here. Okay, but I'm going to try as much as possible to see explain it to you, just so you know about it. But here, indicator does not work very well in technical analysis. Trend line and support and resistance are enough for you to make money in cryptocurrency. They are enough for you to conduct good research. You just need to force yourself to master them, train yourself to master them. Okay, so that's just all about how to draw a trend line. Like I said, the first one is identify your areas of value, just as we did it with the support and resistance. Then the moment you identify your area of value, then connect them. Okay, Don't worry, as simple as this, I'm going to teach you how to do it, so it doesn't just be as if I'm just telling you connect them and then that is all. No, like I told you, sometimes it might not really appear as it is in the diagram here. This I just went and found a best scenario so that you're able to understand it. But trust me, the moment you start practicing, you're going to see some kind of funny word scenarios. But trust me, they should not they should not scatter your analysis. Okay, just have at the back of your mind that just to identify key areas of value, and then that is all. Okay, so let's look at the next thing. All right, I believe you're getting me. If you're getting me, please kindly drop some fireballs in the comments section. Let me know that you're understanding what I am saying. Then if I'm talking fast, you can also signify or indicate it in the comment section so that I reduce the pace at which I am talking. Okay. So the next thing we have is the trend channels. Okay, you can look at it here. Like I told you, support and resistance is synonymous to trend line. They all perform the same function, just that support and resistance is horizontal. Okay, then trend lines are diagonal. You can look at it there. This is just like if you get as you go and turn your screen self, this thing has become a support and resistance. Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you. Okay. You get as you go turn this number, it's going to become a support and resistance. Okay, that's to show you that they all serve similar purposes. Okay, so that's what will bring us to the idea of trend channels. This occurs when two trend lines are simultaneously drawn parallel to each other on the chart, providing a support and resistance scenario. So you can look at it like I told you before. You can actually make money from with the idea of trend lines. You're actually going to be able to make money. Okay, because like I say, look at it. It's going to provide you with a support and resistance scenario. And of course, we already know how to trade support and resistance. You buy at the support and sell at the resistance. Okay, so if you can look at my hash line, the hash line say trend lines acting as a resistance. I don't know if you can see it. If you cannot see it, probably like I said, you increase the quality of your YouTube video so you'll be able to have it clearly. Or probably if you cannot see it clearly, you can tilt your screen so you can see it very well. Okay, so you can see the hash box there, the hash dropout say trend line acting as a resistance. Okay, we already explained what resistance is. Resistance is the roof whereby anytime a coin gets to that particular level, it most likely pulls back. Okay, so if you can look at the first one here, that resistance has been tested 1, 2, 3 times. Okay, the resistance has been tested 3 times. And then for the fact that has been tested 3 times, then it's more like it's respecting the law of trend lines. The coin if you just pass that particular level. And then look at the same one again. Trend line acting as support. That's the idea of trend channels. Okay. Well, by the time you're able to identify, by the time you're able to learn about trend lines now, then you begin to draw your trend lines now, and then you identify a trend line. You can also identify the uptrend so that you can be able to make money even in a trend. Okay, now how do you not make money even in a trend? Very, very simple. You buy at this trend line as acting as the support and sell at the trend line as acting as resistance. Okay, so if you can look at this, our resistance here, it was tested 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, now look at the support. The support was tested 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so based on the trend line channel, the trend channel stuff, now you understand that. Okay, since we're already at resistance support now, it's more okay. Thank you, Mr. Boniface. Okay, since we're already at the support, is we are expecting the coin to rally back upward into the resistance, into the upward trend channel. Now, when it might not be able to rally up to the uptrend is when there's a breakout structure that's happening. Remember, I told you, just like we have in support and resistance, in this trend lines, so trend lines also break because, of course, don't fall in love with the trend line. I'm going to explain obviously. You don't need to fall in love with the trend line, no matter how sweet your trend line is. Just know that okay, at one point in time, it needs to break out for the coin to continue existing. Okay, because the coin cannot just be trending forever. A point to come where it need to accumulate. Okay, so from the point of accumulation, it's not go back into an uptrend, just like we said in the market structure. Okay, so the moment you discover the coin is at as the resistance. Okay, thank you, Mr. Samuel. The moment you discover the coin is at the resistance, like the trend line that is serving as the support, then you buy and then you sell at the trend line that is acting as a resistance. Okay, that's exactly what a trend channel is. You can see this is what a trend channel means. Okay, now let's go to the next one now. How to trade using trend lines. Okay, very, very simple. Like I said, understand that trend lines can serve as areas of support and resistance when the market is moving in a diagonal manner. Okay, just like what I explained in trend channel. Have it at the back of it. Okay, before you begin to trade trend lines, first of all, identify your down. If you remember this back, let me go back so you can see something. This is a downtrend. Okay, this is nothing like uptrend or down. No, these two lines you're seeing there, but they are all downtrend. So this is a descending channel. Okay, both of them. Don't say this one is uptrend. So no, this is not uptrend. This is down. Remember, uptrend is in the markup. Okay, Don't make the mistake of saying and this blue one is a what is a downtrend, this up one is a no. Both of them here what they are downtrend because they're all showing that the momentum is what is facing downward. Okay, don't confuse this thing. Don't say because of we have up and down, one is up and one is no. Both of them are what they're actually what facing downward. They're literally showing okay, the momentum is downward. But because you wanted to identify what you wanted to learn how to trade with the trend, and so you need to go and what form a channel. That is why we have a trend channel. So this channel is called what? It's called the descending channel because it is descending downward. So a descending channel is made up of what? Of two parallel downtrend. Okay, once you're able to plot two parallel downtrend, it means you've been able to what to identify your descending channel. Okay, so I just had to come back to emphasize this particular point so that you don't start thinking that this down one is the downtrend and then the up one is the uptrend. No, they are both what downtrend because they are facing downward. Okay, so let's go. Like I said, understand that trend lines can serve as areas of support and resistance when market is moving in a diagonal manner. Okay, just like this, I'm trying to explain how to use trend lines and trade. Remember when we were explaining about support and resistance, I said you buy at the support and sell at the resistance. Okay, so the moment you're able to identify that, okay, the market, you're able to identify the support, that you're able to draw your trend channel. Then you can say, okay, the up one is representing the resistance, and then the down one is representing the support. Okay, so buy when the price touches the bottom channel, that is the support, and sell when the price touches the top channel, that's the resistance. Okay, so that's exactly how to trade in trend, how to use trend to trade. Okay, very simple like that. Now I'm going to by the time I'm done explaining all of these things, then when I go to get to a point, I'm going to teach you how to combine all of them. So by the time you draw, because even yesterday I was able to combine them, even though I didn't want to say much about it, but then in that particular point of that FTM example, how I was able to know that FTM was going to go down was because I combined support and resistance and trend line. Okay, if you can look at it, there was one line I just drew there. You must have observed. If you're paying attention, you understand that at some point I began to use some lines like that. I was trying to check the trend of the market. Okay, but since I know I was going to teach you today, I didn't want to emphasize it on yesterday. Okay, so you just know that trend lines are very, very important when you combine it with the support and resistance. And this is something I'm going to teach you at the end of the day. Okay, so let's go. Like I said, you buy when the price touches the bottom of the channel and sell when the price touches the top of the channel. Okay, that's just it. So the next one is the key pointers when using your trend lines. Number one, don't force it. Okay, don't force it. Now, by the time we begin to explain tomorrow, you're going to understand that by the time you want to identify your areas of value, some areas of value might be too small, they'll be too down, some might be extremely high. Okay, you don't force. Once you just be able to connect 1, 2, 3, 4, you're able to connect three areas of values. Connect the ones that are most that how like right now. Connect the ones that that the line touches. Don't force it. Don't want to say you want to bend, you want to be adjusting. No, let it be very, very obvious. Like you can look at what I just did. Let me go back a bit so you can see what I did. Let me go back a bit and show something. Now look at it here. Now I didn't force it here. Okay, this one. There's not really any serious example here. But if you look at it now, all the lines are they are perfectly sitting on the trend line. Okay, there are certain instances that some might be short. Okay, no, look at starts from the right. Okay, you understand that we have when the first look at the first resistance. You have the first resistance, right? Now, before the first resistance and in between the first resistance and the second resistance, you understand that there's a small one there. Okay, so sometimes some people might be like, okay, they'll be like, okay, I've identified one area of value. Let me make my trend line to touch it by force. No, don't force it. Okay, this one is a bit obvious. It's a bit obvious. It's very, very low, but trust me, there's some that will be very, very close. Okay, you might call that person begin to adjust his trend line so that he's going to touch it. No, don't force it. If it is not obvious enough, just leave it. Okay, if it's not obvious enough, just leave it. Because like I told you, the market will not always be perfect. Okay, so if it's not obvious, do not force it. Okay, don't say I must get I must get this trend line to touch. No, it's not a must that it must touch. Okay, just look for the obvious regions. Okay, that's what, don't force it. That's the first key pointer you need to look out for using your support and your trend line. So the second one is trend line drawn with reference to the body of a candle. Sorry, it's candlestick, not candlestick. Okay, sorry for the error there. Trend line drawn on reference with the body of a candlesticks are more reliable than trend lines drawn on the week. Okay, and let me read that again. Trend lines drawn with reference. Trend lines drawn on. This I go the right for here. I beg. Trend lines. Let me just rephrase it. Trend lines drawn with reference to the body of a candlesticks are more reliable than those drawn on the wick. Okay, what I mean by this, when we're talking about candlesticks, remember all of these trend lines, support and resistance, they are all drawn on what? On candlesticks. Okay, that's why I started by explaining what candlesticks are. Then of course, that candlesticks have their body and have their wick. So whenever you want to draw a candlesticks now, then probably the candlesticks is the trend line is resting properly on the body of the candle. That is a much more strong candle, a strong trend line. I mean, okay, the trend line that is resting upon the body is much more stronger and is much more reliable than the trend line that is resting upon the wick. What am I trying to say here? That whenever you're drawing a candlestick, whenever you're drawing a resistance, be careful, be mindful not to always use the wick. Yeah, you need to use the wick. Okay, you need to use the wick because of course the coin actually got to that particular point, just that the pressure was not enough for it to hold, so the thing formed the wick. Okay, so if you're drawing your trend line, always ensure, except if the body is not really, the body is kind of very, very, is either extremely above or extremely below, that you can omit it. But then if the body can give you a perfect, if the body, how do I explain this now? If the trend line rests properly on the body, it is much more effective than if the trend line rests on the wick. Then by the time we begin to explain this in practical, you're going to see all of this, and I'm telling you, that's by tomorrow night, because I want us to do theory here, then tomorrow we'll do what? We'll do practicals, okay? So by the time you're drawing your trend line, it's called, okay, the wick, my areas of value is just the wick. When you draw on the wick, somebody that drew his trend line on the body of the candle is going to have more credibility. His own trend line is going to be much more credible than yours, okay? But then there are certain instances whereby you need to actually use the wick, so you don't really have some kind of improper analysis like that. Okay, so let me just give you an example. Now, imagine you want to carry a load now, and then you carry a fat stick. You carry a fat stick and hold the load. Maybe you want to, okay, let's say you're jacking your car. Okay, you're jacking your car, and then you want to support the car. You have removed the tire, and then you want to support it. Imagine you carry a fat stick and put under the car. Of course, the fat stick is going to hold better than if you use a slim stick. That's exactly what this second point means. I think that's the better illustration. Okay, the moment you want to jack a heavy load, maybe you want to jack your car, you've jacked it, you removed the tire, and then maybe you want to support with add support. By the moment you put fat stick, the fat stick is most likely going to hold better than the slim stick. That's exactly what that point means. Okay, so let's ensure that if you're drawing your trend lines, you always draw it with reference to the body of the candle. Okay, it's not every time. Sometimes you need to be flexible. You just need to sometimes you need to just use the wick. Okay, maybe when you discover that the wick, when you discover that, okay, there are 4 points and then 2 points are weak, 2 points are this thing our body, then you can go ahead and use the wick. Okay, since we have obvious bodies already standing in the first instance. Okay, so you can just use the wick as one of your areas of value. Okay, so the next one we have is don't fall in love with your trend line. Like I said, just like I said in the resistance, don't fall in love with your trend line, because definitely it is going to break at one point in time. It's going to break. Okay, it's not just, a market cannot just trend forever. You already understand the concept of market structure. Sometimes the coin might be going in an accumulation phase. There might not be any significant movement. Sometimes the movement might become so severe. So that particular point there's a breakout. Okay, so only when the coin breaks out to get to a point of distribution, then from that distribution it will break out again. Okay, so there's always breakout structures you need to look out for. Do not fall in love with the trend line. Okay, don't just say this trend line, it take me time to draw and not go if you allow them. No, if you emotionally attach to a particular trend line because of how sweet it is, you may end up falling in deep shit. Okay, so always ensure that you don't fall in love with any trend line. Okay, just be free. Okay, this trend line can break at any moment, so don't just say because it's fine. No, just be open-minded. Okay, so the next one is higher time frame trend lines are more reliable. Okay, so this is just like repetition, but then you know what's about repetition. It tends to enhance comprehension. That's why I'm trying to repeat them here so you can maybe have more understanding. Okay. Higher time frame trend lines are more reliable, just like what we saw yesterday. Let me just use my same example again. The federal government have more influence over the state government, and then the state government have more influence over the local government. Okay, if you don't understand what I just said now, it means you missed out on yesterday's training. Okay, but what I just mean is this: that the higher time frame candlesticks and higher frame trend lines are much more reliable than the lower time frame trend line. Okay, so if you have a trend line on the 1 day time frame, know that it's going to be stronger than is going to be stronger and much more reliable than the trend line in a 1 hour time frame. Okay, I already explained what the whole idea of this multiple time frame analysis. Okay, so if you want to get a better understanding of what multiple time frame analysis is, there's a particular video I just uploaded it today. Okay, in as much as we've done it before. Okay, but I just uploaded the video today, so you can go and watch it and then understand how to do what multiple time frame analysis. Okay, so you need to understand why the higher time frame tend to have more power, have more influence over the lower time frame. Okay, so it's the same thing even in the support and resistance. The lower time frame is subject to the higher time frame. So the same thing with trend lines here. Right. So the next word, the steeper the slope, the less reliable it is, and it's likely to break fast. Okay, so remember we said the trend line show you what the flow of momentum. Now, once the coin is dipping, maybe once the trend line is just the trend line is just so obvious that no, it's supposed to. All I said now, you know what steep means now. When the steeper it is, what the less reliable it is. Now, a coin is supposed to go up gradually, but once there's a mass, maybe once the movement is so steep, like the coin is maybe instead of forming angle, which I'm not even good at myself. My man gonna go say, let me not go use angle and I'll go and confuse myself now. But don't worry, tomorrow I'm going to show you all of these things. Okay, I would have loved to draw on this thing now. I would have loved to just make some illustration, but then I cannot really draw here. Okay, but also understand that the steeper the slope. Okay, that's how will I explain this now? I can't really find any suitable example to explain, but then just have it at the back of my mind that the steeper the slope, the less reliable it is. Okay, so the moment the coin, maybe instead of it to be going on, instead of it to be marking, when the markup is like maybe when the bend is not, when the bend is almost like angle 90, forget it. That's when the thing is so steep, almost like angle 90. There's going to be a massive sell-off. Okay, the breakout is going to happen almost immediately. But then once the coin is gradually trending upward, maybe when the trend is not really that sharp like that, it's just gradually going up, then you can say, okay, that trend line is a healthy trend line. Okay, so that's why sometimes I was telling you something about coins that maybe the distance, if you remember, which was it yesterday? Yeah, when I was explaining the distance between when the coin touches the support and resistance, when the coin touches the support, and then the next time it's going to come touch the support. Okay, remember sometimes it's faster. Maybe the coin just go and then it just go touch the resistance and come down immediately. Then sometimes it's going to take a while before it comes down. Okay, so those ones that will just go up and come down immediately are very, very rugged. Okay, any trend line that is okay, just going up and it's coming down like that, are most likely to break faster. They are kind of, should I say, they are factors of pump and dump. Okay, so beware of those kind of okay, that one is a reliable trend line. Okay, so that's exactly what I mean by that. The steeper the slope. Don't worry, tomorrow I'm going to show you this thing practically. Okay, so you're going to see me demonstrate it live on the chart. Okay. And the next one we have is what you need just 2 points to draw a line, and then a third point to confirm the trend. Okay, like I said, just like the support and resistance, the moment you see okay, a coin has formed the support and then it has go and formed another area of value at the resistance, you can start drawing your support and resistance at that particular moment. So the same thing with the trend line. The moment you have at least 2 areas that are confirming that okay, this is a trend, you can just draw your trend line. But just having 2 points is not a confirmation that trend line would hold. Okay, so what's going to make that trend line very, very valid is when you have a third point. Okay, so it's just like let's call it I've forgotten, is it a triple rule? I think it's triple. They call it the triple rule. The triple rule, meaning before you be able to confirm any trend in the market, whether it's a support and resistance trend or the trend line trend, there must be a 3-point contact. Okay, a 3-point contact. Okay, so the coin must go up, must start from a point. Maybe it touches the downtrend resistance, touches the downtrend support once, it goes up, touches the resistance 2, it comes down, touches the support again 3. That's what it's a 3 movement. Okay, so that's what we mean by the confirmation. Okay, so to draw a trend line, you need just 2 points to draw it. Okay, once you can, because of course, once you can connect 2 points, you've gotten your trend line. Okay, but in order for it to confirm if that particular trend line is going to hold, you need to actually wait for a third confirmation. Okay, but you don't need to wait for the third confirmation, sure. But then just so you want to be very, very certain about your trade entries, you need to wait for the third confirmations. Okay. And that's why trend lines are not 100% as seen in books. Okay, be flexible to your imagination. Like I said, these things in the book, they're going to give you one kind of crazy illustration in the book. They'll tell you, okay, the trend line is very simple. It's just like this, and then your mind already picturing that. If you go on your trade view, you're always going to see the trend line to be perfect. No, it's not like that. Trend lines will not always be perfect. You need to be flexible to your imagination. You need to learn how to use your head and think. Okay, just you need to be flexible. Like don't just say because I'm saying trend line when the coin goes up, you'll be expecting the perfect zigzag. No, it might not give you a perfect zigzag like that. books are using that kind of illustration so that you'll be able to understand better. Okay, like for example, now the examples I use, I needed to go and look for a very suitable example that will not confuse you, because if I go and find one that's not clear, you might not understand. So I needed to go and find someone that has a very good structure already. Sometimes you might be lucky and then you might get one that has a very good structure, but sometimes the market can be crazy. You look at the chart, you don't even know what is on the chart itself. It happens like that. Okay, there are days like that where you look on the chart, you cannot even say what is happening. It happens like that. Even in life, there are days you just wake up from the wrong side of the bed and then you be confused about that whole day. So the same thing with chart. The moment you look at it, some days you might just look at it and say, this is the trend. Immediately you're going to identify the trend. Some days you need to look carefully, you need to even wear eyeglasses in order for you to see the trend. Okay, so they are not always 100% as seen in books. Okay, then the last one is the second to the last one: never trade against the trend. Okay, never trade against the trend. The moment you discover that a trend line has been formed, the moment you discover that a trend has been formed, see, it is your best interest not to go against that trend. Imagine you have already confirmed that, okay, this is a downtrend, and then you went and see, because you just see one small sign, you say, "Kai, I'm going to long this particular coin." Maybe you already identified, okay, this coin is in a downtrend, and then because people that don't really know anything about cryptocurrency now, because you are hearing, this coin will go to the moon. Yes, it's going to go to the moon, but once it's in a downtrend, you need to allow it to get to a point where it's going to relax, and where there's going to be a possible pullback. Okay, never go against the trend, because sometimes people might go and say, imagine. You also remember, imagine your markup and markdown illustration. When there's a markup, the trend line the downtrend might start at the up. Maybe at first you already identified as it's a downtrend, but someone that does not really know about downtrend can go and buy downtrend can go and be buying something when the trend is about to start going down and be shouting, "This coin will go to the moon." That person is actually buying and trying to hold long, but it's going, in as much as it's buying a good coin, but it's actually going against the trend of that particular coin. Okay, I know this particular point that I'm trying to explain it very well. I don't know if I'm making it understand it, but then do not go against the trend. If it's got, okay, the trend is heading downward, please let all your trade be in favor of the downside. Don't just say, because of you believe in the coin, you go and enter the coin when I'm hoping that the coin is going to go to the moon. No, the coin must always, there's always market structure. Okay, so once the coin goes up, it must surely come down. Before you have full confidence that the coin is going to go to the moon, please allow it to come down fully first. Okay, so never go against the trend. If it's an uptrend, never go and say the coin is going to go down in an uptrend, in as much as it's going to go down, but allow the trend to get exhausted. That's what we call trend exhaustion. When the trend has go up, of course, the trend cannot just go up forever. When it's called that the trend is excessively too long, maybe it has had multiple touches, then have that at the back of your mind that this trend is about to be broken. That is another way of knowing it, when the trend is about to be broken. When the trend is becoming excessively too long, because the coin cannot just go up like that. Once it go up, to get to a point of distribution, and then it start pulling down. It's tend to with the downtrend. Once the trend has gone too long, okay, it's beginning to get tired. You now need to start consolidating. Okay, so it's very important that you never trade against the trend. If the trend is if the trend is heading upward, ensure you go upward. Ensure that all your trade decisions are favorable the upside. If the trend is facing downward, if you identify that it's a downtrend, ensure that all your decisions are favorable the downside. If you trade against the trend, you're going to get bumped. Imagine trying to swim against the current of an ocean. That is what they mean by trading against the trend. And then, of course, in cryptocurrency, in highest in the ocean, you get drowned. In cryptocurrency, now better loss go fire you. Okay, so never ever trade against the trend. Okay, then the last one we have is practice increase your accuracy and speed of identifying practice increases your accuracy and speed of identifying and drawing trend lines. See, I will keep on emphasizing this in probably to the day that we all become bosses on our own, maybe when we have already become good. But if you really want to become good in cryptocurrency, if you really want to become good in this technical analysis, you need to practice. You need to practice. Like even me myself now, even when I was teaching you guys, sometimes even before I teach you guys, I need to go and practice. I'm able to refresh my mind every day. I practice, even if I'm not going to take the trade. I just go. I just take it. I just make it a point of duty. Okay, today I want to go and identify a trend. Also, okay, on this particular, I'm going to pick 5 coins today, and then I'm going to identify a trend. And then the same thing we're going to be doing. By the time I'm certain that, okay, I've taught you guys about trend lines, and maybe when we are almost done with the training, then every day, because of course once we're done with this training, it does not mean every day we're going to be doing an assignment every day. Except probably you don't want to, I'll try to be an accountable partner to you, but except maybe you don't want to stick with me. But if you want to stick with me, we're going to actually grow in this business. Okay, we're actually going to grow in this career. Okay, so every day I'm going to, okay, this day I'm going to share coins, even if it's two coins. Okay, you identify your support and resistance and send to the group. You identify your this and send to the group. So we pick about five coins. Okay, so the moment I pick my own coin now, identify my support and resistance, I send to the group. You pick your own coin now. We can even look at whose particular setup is even good and pick a trade signal from there. As simple as that. Okay, so every day I'm going to ensure that okay, we come around and then we see how we could help ourselves grow. It's just up to you. To me, I've already been doing it, so it's not really going to be a big deal for me. So I can just look at my chart, do what I'm doing, take a screenshot, come and share on the group, just like what I did today. Okay, take a screenshot, come and share on the group and say, okay, this is what I'm going to do about this particular coin. Then give your own coin. If it's up to you to go and do it, fine. Like I said, I wish I can come to us and come and hold you by the neck, but then I can only do what I can do from this online space here. Okay, so it's up to you to actually what form that discipline to practice. Don't just say you're waiting to get everything first. No, like I'm taking my time to actually explain this course what simple by simple. So as we talked about horizontal support yesterday, support and resistance yesterday. Start seeing how you can pick one or two coins and be practicing your support and resistance. Okay, then by tomorrow now, or by maybe even from this night, if you can start practicing your trend line. Okay, it's not going to be easy for you to identify it at first, but when you keep on practicing and then watching videos to sharpen your understanding, you can actually get a better view of how to spot these areas of value. Because that's exactly what is going to help you to dominate and make good headways in this industry. Okay, so that brings us to the end of tonight's section. Okay, thank you so much. Like I said, this Tiorena and babypeace.com is a very, very good platform for you to go and study, to go and self-study. Remember, I said I was going to give you the materials that you to self-study. Okay, so if you actually want to get information that is very, very good, trust me, I've gone through a lot of online videos, and then some of them are just messed. Okay, one of the person that has proven to be very, very credible is Renatio. Is very, very good. Okay, so we want to just go and watch his videos. You just short videos, 7 minutes, 10 minutes, 3 minutes, 10 minutes like that, and then you get the information very, very. I thought enough his video that's long is 30 minutes. Okay, but then just find some of them, and then you're going to learn massively from them. Okay, and then if you're the person that probably you don't have time to read, just go on Baby Peeps. Just search babypeeps.com. You're going just like a forex. Although Baby Peeps is just like a forex academy. Okay, just like a forex academy. But then if you keep on going there, you're going to see information that's going to help you develop your because forex and crypto, they kind of have the same thing, because all of them have to do with technical analysis. You're actually looking at the chart. Okay, so it's almost the same idea. That's why today some of the best crypto traders we have today were once forex traders. Okay, those are forex they do them younger, they give them money. So when they came to cryptocurrency was a game changer for them. That's why they switched to cryptocurrency. So that's baby forex, babypeeps.com and Tiorena are good platforms for you to study and become very, very good in technical analysis. Okay, so if you're with me and then you got value into this training, I want to see some fireballs in the comment section as I close this section. Okay, so in the next 30 seconds, I'm going to be closing the group, but then I'm looking at the comment section to see if anybody's with me. And then if you're with me and then you got value today, please drop a fireball in the comment section. Let me know that okay, you've got value today, and then would hop in for tomorrow's ride. Okay, so tomorrow is going to be just practical. So I'm going to teach you everything about I'm going to show you practicals like live. You're going to see me demonstrate it live, how to use how to spot your trend lines. Okay, so if you're with me, just drop a fire emoji, and then we'll call it a day. Okay, let me show my face. All right, so thank you so much. Okay, thank you, Mr. Nsika. I can see you. Thank you for staying around. All right, thank you, Thomas. Thank you. I really appreciate you for being around. All right, so that being said, I think it's just enough. Good night, you guys. Safe.